Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Casual Hour. It's July 2nd, 2025. This is episode 429. It is our July, if you can believe it, preview. And Chase, I have a little information. Well,
I refuse to believe it.
Oh, you're really going to hate what comes next then.
Okay, great.
Today is a very interesting day. It is July 2nd, which means that we are at a very critical halfway point. Yes, you're not going to like what comes next, I'm telling you. And tomorrow when you wake up, if you are lucky enough to do that, you will be...
Lucky enough to wake up?
Yeah.
Holy shit, this got dark.
Hey, it's a gift. Tomorrow, you will be closer to the year 2050 than you will be to the year 2000.
Okay.
You are closer to 2050, which seems like a science fiction thing to say out loud.
Yeah. I can't remember when it was.
Yeah.
Like the moment I really felt old and my knees started creaking or whatever is when somebody informed me that we were further away from the Bowling for Soup 1985 song than Bowling for Soup was from when they recorded 1985 talking about 1985. A song about how music has changed.
There's so much, like those movies that like focused on a time period, like Dazed and Confused. If it came out today, Dazed and Confused would be talking about like 2003.
Well, I mean, that's the funny thing with like Seinfeld that I
Yeah.
bring up occasionally is like if Seinfeld there was the fake Twitter, the fun Twitter account Seinfeld 2000 or whatever, but like if Seinfeld was made today, all the problems get solved by a cell phone.
There's so
everything.
much that gets
like
solved.
George doesn't have to wait in the Chinese restaurant because he can just call the person on the cell phone. Kramer can get to the movie theater because he can just call somebody on his cell phone. Like everything.
George would call. He would not text.
Mulva would have her contact info in Jerry's phone.
Oh my god.
Dolores, but he'd have the contact info. He wouldn't have to mess up the name. Everything would be fixed.
Everything would be fixed. Well, not to continue down this rabbit hole, but today is also a rough day for a lot of reasons. Microsoft has announced a gargantuan 9,000 unemployed folks today with layoffs.
That's a lot of people.
I can't even. Here's what I'll tell you: the town I grew up in, as I've been going back home to visit my family, that number, the population number, is dwindling. Has been. It's not 9,000, but it's not far away from it, and it's wild to think.
Not far away from that.
It's wild to think about the entire population of a town equivalency here being without work. And this is just more continued bad news surrounding Microsoft. I know that there's the boycott currently taking place right now against Microsoft. And while I don't know if there's any correlation between the impacts today to that, I would assume not, based on how just
extremely doubt it with billions and billions and trillions of dollars that Microsoft is playing around in.
Yeah.
That the boycott, however noble it is.
Yeah.
I don't think Microsoft's felt the heat of that yet.
Yeah.
Or probably ever.
And here at the Casual Hour, like the only thing that we try to encourage you to do is, check out new games, be kind to other people, and, vote with your feet and vote with your dollars. We talk about those things in varying degrees. Between the two of us, Chase is taking a lot more active stance on this than I have. Like I do play Microsoft games still, but we do feel it is in our best interest and yours to just alert you that, hey, this is something that's going on. You should look into it if you're curious about it. We are going to be talking a lot about new games tonight, and some of those obviously are going to be tied to some of those Microsoft services or exclusive to that platform. But it's just another bummer news. Like there was 2 games in development on top of everything else that was shitty about it that were canceled. One of which was a reboot of Perfect Dark, and I thought that looked very promising.
Looked very promising when they showed it to us, like 4 years ago?
Yeah, great. And they announced it years before that.
Yeah.
And speaking of long development cycles, the Rare game that got canceled, I believe, was in development for over a decade, which that's a long time for a game.
Yeah.
But I don't know what the exact ratio breakdown is. There's just, what I will say is 9,000 more people without jobs. And I'll also throw some shade at our shitty leader, Trump, who claimed that June would have, I'm sorry, July would have, no, June would have brought 100,000 new jobs. And in fact, we actually saw a decline of 33,000. And so it continues to be this trend. And the unfortunate circumstances here is, if you look at history with this, these big companies like Microsoft's, your Alphabets, and others, they tend to follow suit. So I would not be surprised if more people do more layoffs. That way the blow is cushioned on their ego and reputation. But we are wishing everybody out there who's been impacted by big corporate decisions the best. While we can stand and look at companies' decisions, there are lives of people impacted across a wide range here, especially around Microsoft's efforts. And we just wish those that are being impacted the best here. We're a shitty little podcast out of the Midwest that cares a lot about games. We care even more about people. And so we'll try our best to speak up where it makes sense for us to do so. Anything else from you?
Yeah, just the thing that stings the most out of this news is that Microsoft also just recently announced that they've, I don't know if it's record profits, but they're making a lot of fucking money. Like
They're doing very good.
Billions and billions of dollars.
Yeah.
And part of that, and the reason the BDS movement is boycotting Microsoft in the first place, is that they're supplying AI technology and other technology to Israel right now.
Yeah.
And so I remember hearing about it with like Unity as well, where they were taking big military contracts and things like that. And people generally don't enjoy. Your employees don't like it. Your fans don't love it when you're just doing big military contracts for these crazy amounts of money. But you do that work because it's crazy amounts of money that allow people to keep their jobs, that allow your business to grow. So for Microsoft to both take the big contracts and make all the money and talk about how much money they're making, but then also turn around and go, well, these 9,000 people also get all their jobs cut. It just feels really short-sighted. It feels very very much like a stockholder kind of decision and less of the health of a company overall. And it sucks. It really sucks for all those people that they they didn't want to be a part of that, and they're not only had to be a part of Microsoft, but now they're all out on their asses, and that sucks.
It really does suck.
Creativity. That's a lot of really smart people who make cool things who now are looking for work. And
it sucks,
it's already an industry that is so strained these days. And so not adding 9,000 more people to the pool is devastating.
Maybe we'll do a deeper dive at some point in time, but like, I just think that the industry is